Welcome to Transparent Conversations, Elevated Exchanges. It's Friday night, so it must be Friday Night Live on YouTube.
Hey, what's happening? I don't know what's going on. Look, I didn't even press the button. Hello. Welcome back to my channel. This is Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I'm sorry. I have too much up. Sorry. Welcome to Transparent Conversations, Elevated Exchanges. It's Wednesday night, so this is the Wednesday night recap. And yes, we are live on YouTube. I'm Calvin, or CPJR if you know me, or the Melancholy Guy if you feel me. This is tonight we are doing. This is a rough episode, y'all. We're doing break trauma bonds, find your true self, and this is gonna come with some difficult situation that's happening to the family right now. So anyway, welcome back to the pod. So like I said, this is just this is a Wednesday recap show. So this show, I've decided to just make this show a recap show. We're not gonna have any rough subjects from the main show, like real conversations, but we will have some it's either some things that are happening to me personally and my family, or something happening in politics or current events. So tonight, definitely gonna deal with trauma bonds, right? Trauma bonds are dangerous, and I've had some experience with them. I used to call them struggle bonds, and I don't need to talk about struggle bonds and trauma bonds. It's not a joke, man. It's actually kind of dangerous, and I used to make a lot of jokes. I used to make a lot of jokes about the situations, that I've been through. But I've always known that what has happened in my family could happen to me if I didn't get out of it. And I don't think that the this is between a relationship. I don't think the people that are involved in it know exactly what's happening or what's going on. They're just going from not dealing with past traumas, and then just carrying those traumas into the relationship, trying to find safety, and safety is through control, and then that control gets kind of wild and crazy, and that's what happened. And it seems like I've dealt with it in my family, myself personally, like two different relationships, and then I've learned how to really look out for it. I look out for any type of control. Period. You know what I mean? Like, I've been through that type of thing before, many times. Been with somebody who's trying to control me, and I've always said that me coming out of rehab and trying to take that time to really build my life. I never was allowed to, or I never took the time or was permitted the time to just go ahead and do what I need to do to build myself back up before having to be all these different things to so many different people. That's why I think that's one of the reasons why when you do go, come out of rehab, you're supposed to go, it's supposed to be a little selfish time, because you got to be focused on yourself to get yourself back, and then you can, come back into or deal with the demands of others. I never took that. I had that time because I've always had to get into the mix for some reason. I never really wanted to be alone, and I don't know how I got that far into it. But like I said, this is episode number 11, .76. It's episode 11, 76 days. If you know, you know, and if you want to know, you can just ask me. What does that .76 mean in days? So, so we're gonna talk about a situation that came up in my family, and I didn't even know that it was an issue until now. It's at this extreme stage. For some reason, I'm gonna talk about it in 1 second. But if you get a second, and if you're back, you've been here before, please like, subscribe, and share. If you, I don't know, think you need this in your life or want to share this in your life or want to, I don't know, help me out. I don't know. I don't exactly know what I'm doing. So anyway, so yeah, subscribe, and share the show. To boost it up in the algorithms. I don't know what that means. I don't know who watches this. I know I make it for me. This is part of my spiritual practice, as I've said many times. So what am I talking about? We're talking about addiction, recovery, ethical non-monogamy, and just a whole bunch of life shit, you know. All right, so I'm gonna leave it right there and come back here. So tonight. The check-in. So the check-in is things are good, right? I'm getting into my little rhythm, you know what I'm saying? Like everything seems to be coming around. I'm back on the phone, taking calls. Still from my next opportunity. Next job. So yeah, I had an interview yesterday and I got one tomorrow scheduled. So we'll see how things go. Things will seem to be picking up and working out, I guess, since they made a China deal. We have a trade deal with China, 55%. Do y'all watch politics? Do y'all even care? I watch it, but for some reason, I'm still in the check-in. For some reason, I'm zoning out about the whole thing, and because I don't want to protest. I'm like, what are y'all protesting? Like, because I don't know. I'm like, okay, this is the second time I elected this guy, right? Who's protesting? And why didn't y'all know he was going to do the same? Y'all had to protest the first time, and we got to protest the second time again because y'all put him back in office. And now y'all want to protest again, and he's crazier than before. There was a whole way to avoid. This all could have been avoided. We don't know. It's all, you know what I mean? Like, why is a convicted felon running the country? Who does that? Who votes for a convicted felon? I wouldn't do it. So what I think about the people that did, like, what do I have to think about you? Now y'all running around the street protesting. How could this been avoided? And no, the worst part of it for me is, will you do it again? You probably will do it again. You're not that smart. That's the part that hurts me the most. Is that this may not be the last time. Even if we get out of this one, it may not be the last time. And this is how it's going to be forever. Just don't learn. Just don't want to learn. It's a class warfare, not race warfare. Okay? Always has been. So let's work together on the class, not the race. It's not about the race. We don't, we're in the same boat. It's economical. All right, so where am I at? I'm still in the check-in. So yeah, the NASDAQ went up. So now I guess we're back in the hiring. Time to hire. But people are still looking. There's still a lot of people looking for jobs, man. It's like you can just see it, like the number of people that are applying for jobs. But I'm gonna tell you this, I'm gonna give you some game. Make sure you run your resumes through AI. Not for I don't care about the AI part. I care about the automatic tracking system, whatever. The score, right? So the resumes are scanned in, and there's keyword searched, so your resume needs to be formatted correctly. And AI could do that very easily. Or you could pay somebody who probably just run through AI themselves. But it's up to you. Once I did that, I'm like, that's what's going on. The first time I did that, like in 2024, it just automatically just got calls left and right because it gets scored right on the thing, and you could tell if your resume isn't being scanned correctly because the resumes are parsed right when you upload them. And then they use the information to fill out the application on the form. So if your resume is formatted correctly or as correctly as possible, most of those will be filled in correctly, right? So if you can't get through that, you're not getting through their system. Then your resume isn't being seen; it's being rejected. So spend if you got the money, spend it. If you don't have it, do the work, the research, and fix it. All right, that's some game. That's some game. So things might be picking up, I think. So we might be back. So, but anyway, I'm still falling into my groove. Everything's working out pretty good. You know, I'm learning how to get around. getting back to myself again. Like I said, dot 76 is a good place to be. And then I'm still dealing with a lot of things that are coming up. This thing that came up, I don't even know. I'm gonna talk about it. It's gonna be rough, because it's really like sharing people's business, our family business, and then, but I think that's what we all suffer from. Because I'm like, wow, because say a minute. Okay, wait a minute. Yeah. Oh, we are elevated. Good. This is the code for people that come back to and be part of the transparent crew. If you come on here on live and that lava lamp, it's not a lava lamp, it's a Himalayan salt lamp. If the Himalayan salt lamp is on, we lit. All right. If it's off, we not lit. We not elevated. So we elevated. Same thing. Actually, this is the second time I'm showing this. This was a 7.0 I bought at Liberty Cannabis on St. Barnabas. It's a cut flower. It's pretty good though. It's high, like 23% THC A. This is an indica. I'm not sure if I've got the indica. I didn't even look it up. If I got the indica or the the hybrid indica, because it's definitely put you to sleep. It's so good for sleep. And just chill. It's a nice little buzz, and then it lets you the whole body, like an OG Kush type deal. You know what I'm saying? But that definitely has good euphoric effects. Yeah. But last week, if you watched that show, I must have to apologize because I was definitely on one. I was on one, and I also had the bad news of not being able to actually pursue an opportunity because they still do THC drug tests in 2025. This is Maryland, right? DC, legal in DC, legal in Maryland, recreation. And I'm like, do they test for alcohol? Like, why are they still testing for THC and it's legal? Why? So, I don't know. But it was at the hospital. I had to take a bunch of vaccinations. I was kind of like not really want to do that, but I was like on the short list. But it wasn't gonna be good for me. If they gotta do that, they gotta monitor me inside and outside, and I could be exposed to something, and that'd be crazy work. I always want to work in the hospital. I want to learn that equipment. I'm goofy like that. I still want to learn how different things operate. All right, so where we at? All right, so the check-in. So everything's okay. So the check-in. My family, we do have a family member who has found himself in the system. They had to come get him, and it wasn't any. It was an internal DV, right? Like, and it wasn't, and it was trumped up. So it's a lot of things that been going on that I didn't know about, and I'm like, and then I don't know. I never got a chance to put my input into it. I'm kind of glad I didn't because I'm not the one. I'm not a diplomatic. I'm not diplomatic in these situations because it's scary to me, and I'll talk about. So we're talking about trauma bonding. So basically, when two unhealthy people, they say, what's the thing they say? Oh, we're going to the content. Yeah, we're talking. But I ain't showed something. I want to show what we're talking about. I'm going to do the food for the day. So we're going to play a video. I'm done. We're going to talk about. So everything in the day is going to be about trauma bonding, identifying trauma bonding. It's not love. And I'm going to tell you, hold on. I'm going to say some things. I'm going to do a disclaimer on this one too. But it's not a disclaimer that I always do. It's a disclaimer that I always do. Fuck you. No, it's a disclaimer I always do, right? It's my truth, right? This is my truth. And I'm going to share my truth, right? I'm going to walk in my truth. I know my truth. And I'm going to recognize if you try to pull me from my truth, that's going to be the anxiety, and I'm going to kick in your face. No, I'll have to get you out of my life, basically. Because you can't. Because I'm not going to be. That's been a whole life being a people pleaser, right? This is where I'm at. 59. And I figured out that I spent my whole life trying to be a people pleaser, not really learning how to take care of myself properly, just blind loyalty to anything that wasn't for me. And it just took me a long time to really figure out what I could have done differently earlier, and it took me all this time to just get here to where I have a chance to not continue the path I was going, right? So that's what I'm trying to get other people to avoid the same thing, because there's no way this situation should have happened. So why? Because I always say, like, why are so many people in unhappy relationships, and why is it a joke? You know what I'm saying? Why is it a joke? Why is the pop the balloon thing a joke? You know what I'm saying? Why is the reality TV a joke to the point where it's like Love Island? What's the thing they do? Like 29 Day. I don't know. I don't watch reality TV show, but it's always seemed to be a joke about love and finding people, and it's out here and it's dangerous, right? Because people don't know what a real relationship should actually look like. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't see it. When do you see a happy relationship? But I'll wait. I know last time I see one. When y'all think the last time I seen a happy relationship? Yes. All right, y'all know. Y'all don't know? You know what? It's funny though. A lot of people. Well, it was 2017, of course, when I was with Ayana, and then the one before that was when I was with Helise. Not Helise. Oh, damn. Fuck, that was a slip of the tongue. Heidi. Those were the 2 times. And why? Why was that the happy? Why were those the times? Right? You could trust. I could be myself, and I could trust them. I could trust them with myself. You understand what I'm saying? I could be vulnerable. I was never attacked. And I'm gonna go into this a little bit more, right? What I'm talking about. Is this damn video I'm finna play? Hold on one second. I'm lit.
Stockholm Syndrome. Stockholm Syndrome is trauma bonding. Trauma bonding is where someone has really confusing feelings about someone, where they formed a strong emotional attachment to them, even though that individual is very abusive. This involves the person being extremely loyal to someone, being very affectionate to someone, and being very defensive about their behavior, despite the fact that they're being abused or neglected, or that they're actually involved with someone who's quite dangerous. Here are 6 tips that might help you if you're in the really painful and distressing situation of a trauma bond. Number 1, acknowledge the abuse. Number 2, seek support from loved ones or maybe even professional support. Number 3, create a lot of distance between you and the individual so that those feelings that you have for them can start to diminish in some way. Number 4, practice really good self-care. You need to start showing love to yourself in this difficult time, rather than showing love towards this individual who's abusive or neglectful towards you. Number 5, challenge the unhelpful beliefs that you have about this situation. You might hold a belief like something such as, this individual will change, and that probably isn't a very realistic belief if you're in a trauma bond. So it's important for you to learn to challenge those unhelpful beliefs that are keeping you in this situation. And finally, number 6, you want to set boundaries with this individual. It's not okay for anyone to mistreat you, and if someone mistreats you, the best thing for you to do is create a lot of distance and walk away from them. Do not stay in a situation where you're being mistreated.
Period. Okay, so that's important, right? That's what you need to look for, right? A trauma bond. Like one thing about I'm gonna talk about why this happening. One thing about trauma bonds you need to understand is that when I was growing up, I would tell this I say this all the time, right? I did not have relationships. And I was I had one when I was in high school. I had one relationship. I've talked about it. I broke up with her and I never had another one. I had situations. I had a lot of friends. Situations, but I didn't really. There was not really no need to be a form. I never understood why would you have a formal relationship and you're just in high school. What are you doing? You're in high school. What are you doing? We're not going to be together forever. You know that. Very few people are. So I was a realist. I was very realistic about it, and I just didn't, because I was moving around doing different things. I was working very early, going to work. I wasn't like hanging out in high school. I wasn't doing like the clubs and all that kind of stuff. I was definitely just not around school. I was working. So I was around a lot of older people. So I didn't have relationships. So by the time I had my first relationship, this is all through high school, college, everything. No real relationships, just like situations. There was never anybody. Like my mother told, she said she didn't see anybody until I came up with Rhonda, my first wife. She didn't see anybody. Anybody. I'm like, what? I can't even believe when she told me that because I'm like, there had to be a lot. There was a lot of people. There was a lot of women. I don't know how you didn't see anybody. But then again, I'm thinking she saw people. She just didn't. I never claimed people. Like this is la 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 la. Nah, I just didn't do that. That's my slavery cup. I just didn't do that. I worked for 8 years. I didn't do that. I didn't have any reason to. But so I wasn't lying to anyone or anything like that. It just didn't. It just wasn't a belief that I had. And then every time I say, let's say, what did you see? Did you see any happy people? No, they weren't happy. People was fighting. They were fighting. Right? So why were people together and they weren't happy? That's a learned behavior. Right? They tell you that you have to be together. You know what I'm saying? That they say the greatest thing, the breakup is an unsuccessful relationship. And you break up, you're not successful. So if you have a string of breakups, it's not successful relationships. A relationship could have met its course, did its thing. You guys just it was it. That we got to the end of the relationship. We were fine. I enjoyed the time that we were together. So we don't have those type of things, right? That's not what we're taught. We're taught you're supposed to find somebody to beat them up, stay together forever through thick and thin, hell and high water. You'll be okay. And the problem. You see, that's why I got mixed up, right? Well, I said the struggle bond, right? That was a joke to me. Like I was saying that I had a struggle bond in my first relationship. Disclaimer. I guess I'm going into. No, we still right. We got where we at. So we are. I'm giving the background. So. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so I didn't really have any arguments, right? I didn't even understand that when it started, with and like I said, my first relationship. I didn't understand it. For some reason I accepted it. And I think that I never had it before because I wouldn't stay. Like, why would you stay for that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was good on the dip. You know what I'm saying? I was good on the dip. I was good on the bounce. You know what I'm saying? I'm with you today. I'm going to play the Michael Jackson song, Be Sad, Shit Out of My Life, and then I'm going to be gone. It's going to take a minute. It's not going to take a minute. It's going to take a really short amount of time to move on. Cause that was mainly happening, I guess, when people know. They get to the point where they really want a boyfriend. Go find a boyfriend and be happy, and then be tied down. I don't know. I don't know if we ever happy. It never lasted. But it was where people wanted. Because that's what they saw. It was peer pressure. But then you really didn't really understand what a relationship was. To me, and I'm going to get my where I'm at now, and why my lab relationships were more in line with I think more healthier if I could have got myself completely together, and more in line with who I was becoming, or who I am becoming. I don't know, but because I could be truthful with them, right? I didn't have to. I knew exactly what I wanted. It wasn't a matter of just being together, right? That's what happens. That's what happens. That could start a struggle bond, right? You be a friend. Y'all need a place to live. Y'all grow. Relationship gets tighter and tighter, and next thing you know, y'all together, and then y'all fall in love, and y'all together forever. Y'all started out in a struggle, right? But the bond was healthy because both of you two were healthy, right? A lot of times in these relationships now. One of the people or both of the people, most of the time it's both, because usually if someone's healthy, they'll have enough sense to get away from this person, right? After the first incident, right? Like it don't take me much time to be like, oh no, we ain't doing this. Less so now than before. So, but then that would get to a point, where it was just like, what is happening? Why are these women acting like this? You know what I'm saying? Like, why they don't want, you know what I mean? Like, why would they get upset when you want to break up with them? You know what I mean? Like, why do they attach? Why is that attachment style about? You know what I mean? Like, if we were to look into it, it's probably some kind of weird attachment style, because it's not love. So the incident that happened with a family member of mine is now they're in jail because they got into an argument with their baby's mother or partner, unmarried, and then apparently this goes on a lot. There's a lot going back and forth. Apparently, I don't know anything about it. I'm learning everything right now because nobody told me nothing. I don't know what it is. No. I don't be around. But in this situation, I noticed early in this situation a long time ago. maybe 2018. Yeah, about 2018, 2019. I had went up there with my brother. I was driving in the truck, and something happened, and they didn't want me to know what was going on, the whole story, right? Because it was like their little thing, right? So I was out of it. So after that, I'm like, I don't need to know nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? None of it. Don't tell me shit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got it. So that's how I was. I was just out. I laid my hands off. What was going on? I don't know. The whole story. I don't know. I know little tidbits, but what I do know from what they first told me is that it was a trauma bond, right? There was violence, there was police call, and homeboy, my nephew, was not violent, right? He not a little hothead, right? But see, here's the thing though. If I'm not really being told about the whole situation, I don't really know everything. So he could be a hothead, little. I don't know. I don't know. But I know what I heard. I know there were some things. What did I say about that shit? God damn it, you stupid motherfucker. I'm sorry. That was the wrong person. Anyway, I wasn't supposed to say that much. I was supposed to, anyway. But I know this person. I think I do anyway. So what I'm hearing doesn't sound characteristic of him, but the situation sounds familiar, right? It sounds familiar. It sounds like a trauma bond. Somebody who wants complete control of you, don't let you out of their sight. Right, and that's happening to him, right? And so instead of him getting I'm like, get away from that right away. Like, so that's the huge red flag, right? Because you as the male, what's the one thing we as black males are afraid of the most? The police. And that has always been my fear. Remember I told you I never had any problem with the police at all while growing up. Just like minor things with like marijuana, paraphernalia charges, stuff like that. Nothing really serious. But DV, never had DV call, never hit nobody, nothing like that though. I've had to call the police. I've had to call, neighbors have had to call the police because they thought something was happening, and it wasn't me. I'm running. I'm running. I'm going behind the door, and then the door gets kicked in. A hole is in the door. I'm just trying to leave. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I have to hold you down. I'm trying to leave. That's what I'm saying though. That's what happened. Now, think about that. Think about that, right? Like if you've never had no other relationships to you are just like, I'm in, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? It's not a real relationship. Then all of a sudden you get done with this, right? And you're supposed to be a nice guy. Right, and you already know why the bond is there, right? Like when the bad incident did happen. This is me. I'm not even talking about this current incident, right? I'm mixing it up. I'm going back and forth. So, but this incident I'm talking about, my first one, the one that I should have known, the one that scared the hell out of me, right? And I almost ended up in jail. Police got called on me. I could have ended up in jail this first time, right? But I had enough sense to say like, I'm gonna sit here till the police come. When they come, I'm just gonna walk away. Cause I ain't do that. So, but this incident happened because I don't even know what the incident happened, why it happened. All I know is one day I'm in the car driving, and then I'm being called selfish over and over again, to the point where this person is telling me to get out their car. Right? For some reason, I had my own car, but I gave it back because it was better for us just to have one car. I didn't give it back. I was driving it from a deal with my father, so then my brother was driving it. So I didn't have the car. So we were in that one car that we had together now. So we're together, and now we had our daughter, my daughter, Sasha, as a baby. And I'm being called selfish, and I don't know why. I don't remember why. All I know is I'm trying to figure out why am I selfish. And I remember this is my first relationship. Ever after having no relationships and never having to talk about anyone seriously about, not seriously about relationships. For what? I'm not in relationships. I'm just talking about how to get women, you know what I'm saying? How to get women having a good time, all that kind of stuff. What they like, things like that. Not how to keep them and make them happy and be their, provider, protector, and priest. But I'm in my 20s. Right, I'm still trying to find myself. College, I'm still trying to, and fucking up, you know what I'm saying? But still trying to find myself, seriously. Right? So the first relationship I had, this is the first relationship I had. First relationship. I don't know why this was the first relationship. So I was in church at the time, yep. I didn't grow up in church. I started going back to church by the time I was about 18. Went to college, came back, still wasn't going to church. I didn't go to church while I was in college. I wasn't a Christian, and then it came back, became a Christian. Right, so then all of a sudden you gotta slow down. You gotta get, you know what I mean. You gotta look at the future. But then really, the church, sin and all that kind of stuff. And then you want to come up in the church. Then you start trying to, become that person. You become a Christian. You start living how they live, and then all of a sudden, you can't be just having sex with anybody. You have to have sex with, one person. You get married, you have sex, you have kids. That's what it was about. That was the whole game. Then they look at you respectfully. Then you get a job. They get promotions. That's how it worked. That was the plan. That's how I saw it. That's what I did. But this was my candidate. This was a person who I was. I don't know. Was I gonna marry her? I don't really think I was looking at marriage. You know what I'm saying? I don't really think I was looking at marriage. It just happened. It just happened. And that's what I'm saying though. Just a whole life of people pleasing. I didn't really want to get married. It just happened. Just the same. This was a bond. This was a trauma bond. This wasn't like a loving relationship, right? It couldn't have been. Why? Because why was I scared? Why was I scared most of the time? Why was I scared most of the time of doing the wrong thing? Of just being myself. I couldn't be myself. Right? I couldn't watch TV. I couldn't watch the shows I watched. I had to just give reasons why I was watching the show. No, this is real. What I'm talking about is what I'm talking about is if you find yourself in this type of relationship, there's no reason to stay, I guess. It's not you not being successful and being in a real relationship. Is you choosing to live now, because this situation now is so serious that I don't know, 4 or 5 lives have changed forever. You know what I'm saying? So those lives touch my life, so my life has changed forever. You know what I'm saying? Like this thing, what I'm talking about is this thing that we as black men, like I don't have any felonies, never been to prison, just have minor stuff, stupid stuff, like the same any stupid stuff person probably have everywhere on this earth. But then when you talk about actually having a felony and looking for a job, because every job now you go through, everyone does a background check. You know what I'm saying? Everybody does a background check. Every single job. Because it's just now it's right there on the internet. You just pay, I guess you just pay a monthly fee. You run the little thing. You run the check. Boom, boom, bam, boom. Looking for like 7 years or so. That's all you're looking for. Just so they say due diligence if something happens, right? Because they'll just ask you, now you got to do it. Because why you didn't do it? It's just cheap. And when something happened at the office, you didn't run a background check? Why not? It's cheap. So not everybody just, and I could be wrong. I'm not an HR. But I'm saying though is that not choosing yourself. I'm gonna play the video in a second because we're into the thing. I know it's hard though. You might think like I did from the time when I was in these relationships, right? Because I went from one to another one, right? Not the first one, went right to the second one. The second one wasn't as severe. And I sort of like flipped that one. And the separation was just hard. But then I think she also grew from that situation. She see what was going on. She saw what was going on. And she grew. I love her to this day. Okay. So we're going to play this video and I'm going to come back. This video is going to be on... this is on how to break a trauma bond. 8 steps, I think. Did I play that already? No. That was the first one I played. It was how to break trauma bond. 8 steps. The one step is the number one step is get away. Right. A lot of people are scared to get away because they're gonna go through drama. But you're gonna go through drama now or later. You're gonna go through the drama. You know what I'm saying? You're going to go through the drama. You might have to go through the violence, but you're going to go through it once or a million times because it's going to happen, right? It's going to happen. Don't play with this shit, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, don't play with violence, right? None of it's okay. It's never okay. The first sign is okay. And the problem is the first sign is usually not beating your ass, it's beating somebody else's ass. Right? Look how easily somebody can beat somebody's ass. Right? And then you think it's never gonna be you. And I've seen it happen a lot of times. So yeah, we're gonna play this video and then we're gonna talk about it and be right back. Hold on. And then I'm trying to save a life. Because it's gonna be like 1 sec, like it's gonna happen, right? Like sooner or later, whatever was gonna happen. Did I finish telling what happened on my first time? No, I did not. Let's go back. Then I'll play the video, then we'll talk about it. This might be a little long. No, it won't. Okay. Let me tell you what happened to me though. Okay, so my first time dealing with like this feel like I don't know what the fuck going on. You know what I'm saying? I try to talk to my mother about it because I don't know what the fuck. I do not know what's happening, right? I do not know, but then I know though, right? Because like if I'm doing what I want to do with my life, and this is before I'm married. Right? This is before we're married, right? But it's enmeshment. She's gonna talk about enmeshment. This our lives are intertwined, and I don't have to go through no struggle, right? I'm 20 something trying to figure my life out. I'm good. I'm golden, right? I'm coming up, rising. I'm gonna be in IT in another year or two, and I'm just gonna be going up, right? I ain't even thinking about nothing. I don't have to worry about nothing. Bills ain't nothing. Everything good. But I'm in a relationship, and then I'm getting called selfish, right? So we're down on the street, arguing. Show me out the car. So if you around here, if you from DMV, I was on St. Barnabas Road, right? And this is before Home Depot. Rivertown was just built, like maybe it was a couple years old. So what was the big store that was up there? The big store, it wasn't Target. Kmart. It was Kmart. Yeah, it was a big Kmart. So that's how old it was, long ago. Wasn't no cell phones or nothing. So this what happened. And then so we get to the parking lot, because we were on the road at first, and this is like trying to pull the wheel out of my hand. So we get to the parking lot. She said, "Get out the car." And I'm like, "You're not gonna leave me up here in Rivertown." And remember, this is no cell phone time. There's no cell phone, no pages, no nothing. So if I'm left up here at the shopping center, I have to find a phone, or find a phone, public phone, call the public phone, call the house, and hope somebody's there to pick me up, right? Or hope somebody's at the house, you know what I'm saying? And then I gotta try to find somebody else at the house, at another house, because that's how long ago this was. And she got out of the car and went and said she gonna call. She went and walked to the public phone. She went to walk to the public phone and walked to the public phone and then called the police. And then the police came. And I just got the car and walked away. And they said, "Sir," I said, "You talk to her." And I just walked away. I walked away, and then I walked to around where the Safeway is, if y'all know, because I went all the way around Rivertown, and I just called, and luckily my brother was home, and I told him to come pick me up. So he was coming to pick me up. And while I was waiting for him, guess who shows back up? "I'm sorry, get in the car. I'm like, fuck no, I'm not getting in the car. You know, I by that time hot. I'm like, no, I ain't getting in the car. I'm coming back to get my shit. And I did. That's when we broke up. Right? That was when we broke up. That was the first. And then what you supposed to do, make a clean separation, right? Because I already knew that's crazy. I ain't never been to that before. That's crazy, right? It doesn't make no sense. I didn't even do anything. This has nothing to do with nothing. I mean, I can't even remember what it was about. Like, why was I being selfish? You know what I'm saying? So I'm moving. I'm coming to get my shit. I ain't never coming back. That was the first time. But then me not really understanding what was really going on, I think at that time, you know what? Damn, I just remember something. At that time, my parents, that's when they put her on the outs. Right? Because they was pissed at her for a long time, my first wife. They was pissed at her for the first time. Nobody from my family came to my wedding. And I finna sit here and say something stupid too. I'm gonna say, well, how come that girl wasn't shine? Whatever happened, right? And we gotta deal with some false DV charges, and someone's locked up in jail for their life. Maybe locked up for the rest of their life and can't get out. Attempted murder. Right? This is serious. Right? for that same type of shit I just explained that happened to me my first time, and I stayed, and that was the first time, right? The situation that I heard about my relative that what they're in is worse. It's worse than that. Cause ain't nobody hitting me. I'm not fighting with no woman. You know, that's one thing that they gonna have it. I don't know what the fuck going on with that one. I see what I'm saying. I never really had a chance to talk to nephew. I mean, my relative. You know what I'm saying? It just like, no, man, no, no violence, man. Any violence, you gotta get out of there. The first sign of violence, get out of there, cause it's gonna always come bad. It's gonna be bad at you. See, here's the thing, though. Right? You can either be dead or in jail. That's the only outcome. All right, let's look at this channel.
Sometimes feel like love because it may be the only connection we've experienced. And I think we can all agree that love is often talked about in a way that's not real or relatable, which is why we can find ourselves in relationships with people and not realize that what we're feeling isn't love. It's actually trauma bonding. My name is Katie Morton, and I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. I talk about anxiety, ADHD, eating disorders, and really anything mental health related. So if you'd like to subscribe, we would love to have you. I promise you will always leave with some helpful information for you or for someone that you love. And subscribing really helps creators keep doing what we do. Okay, let's jump into today's topic. Trauma bonding is an unhealthy attachment that we can form with our abuser. This usually happens in toxic or abusive relationships. But it can also happen in families, at church, with friends. It most commonly occurs when the relationship we are in follows what's known as a cycle of abuse, meaning that when someone harms us physically, sexually, or emotionally, then, so that's the abuse state, then we move into the next stage, which is called the honeymoon phase. And that's kind of like love bombing. They tell us they love us, they're so sorry, they never meant to hurt us, it won't happen again, they would die without us, and go on and on and on. And this love bombing and manipulation can confuse the person who was abused, and it can make us think that they really didn't mean to hurt us, and they do love us. Now, over time, this cycle of getting hurt and then being told that they love and care for us can lead to us becoming attached to our abuser, even feeling bad for them and feeling deep affection for them, which is why it can be so hard for us to leave. We can also trauma bond as a way to prevent any further abuse from happening to us, just like the fawn response, which, if you're not familiar, is another form of fight, flight, and freeze. But fawning is when we people please so that they won't hurt us again. And it's really our attempt at taking control back from our abuser in order to protect ourselves. Since trauma bonding can often be confused with love, let's jump into the 5 signs that what we're experiencing is in fact trauma bonding and not love. Number 1, we are enmeshed. Meaning that there aren't any healthy boundaries in our relationship. How they feel is how we feel. And we can find ourselves putting their needs above our own and needing them to make decisions for us, or at least weighing in on them. We can even struggle to do things on our own, see our own friends, and focus on our own personal growth. Number 2 is if they have ever abused us. Physically, sexually, emotionally, even if they said it wouldn't happen again or gave excuses for why they did it.
Yeah, I want to stop right there because I want to say something on this part. Talking about abuse. Okay, so you might say, like, on the first incident that I talked about, was there abuse? All right, what is calling the police on me in the parking lot saying I'm gonna get out of the car? What could have happened? What is calling the police this was a long time ago too. One of the cameras. So why is that? That's why I walked away. Because there was no reason to call the police on me. Right? And then come back. Like, what was she trying to prove? Did she really want me to leave, or what did she really want? That was control, right? Right? That was control. And I met her, and I said, hell no, I met her at that time. Now, the only reason that I went back, because I was enmeshment, this ring right here. She's trying to tell you why. Because I couldn't get rid of her. Because I'm saying you got to get away from them. Away. Like, out of your life. Immediately. And because basically every time you go back, it just starts over. All right, hold on. And this is not for I'm not talking just to men or women. I'm talking about people who are in trauma bonds, both of y'all. Because usually it's 2 people. I ain't never abused nobody though, did I? See, I could. Yeah, I did. All right, I'm gonna tell you about mine. Hold on a second. All right, so back to the video. I guess.
really tired, I had a bad
I need
day.
a engineer,
Healthy
producer.
relationships have mutual respect and are physically and emotionally safe. If you don't have those things in your relationship, you may want to consider ending that relationship. Number 3, we are codependent. Now, codependency happens a lot in relationships where addiction is present because one person is the addict and the other person is addicted to caring for them. In this case, we can feel that our only purpose or the only way that we are deserving of love is if we care for the other person, even when it puts us in danger. We can feel like our only value is in being the caretaker or the fixer, and this can allow the person to keep doing what they do. When it comes to trauma bonds specifically, we can want the relationship to continue at any cost because our identity can be wrapped up in them. Or we can think so little of ourselves that we believe we aren't anything without them. And so we do what we need to do to keep them happy. Number 4, they don't like us seeing our friends or family. If someone ever tries to tell you that your friends or family are bad for you, they don't deserve you, or they act upset when you make time to see them, get out of there. Sure, I know we can have one friend or a family member that isn't the best, or maybe they've said hurtful things. But we should never feel like we can't have our own life and see people on our own. A huge component of narcissistic abuse is that they try to isolate us from everyone else so that they have complete control and we don't have a way out. You should feel free to have your own life and you just enjoy having them in it. And finally, number 5 is gaslighting. Does your partner constantly tell you that you remembered something wrong? Or that you're crazy? That's not how it happened. Or did they deny or try to minimize the pain that they've caused you? Or maybe they even try to tell you that it was your fault. This is a form of manipulation and can cause us to attach even more tightly to our abuser because we don't think we can trust our own mind or memory. We can all forget things from time to time, sure. But if they are consistently putting us down, telling us that we're making things up, it's possible you're being gaslit. I know it can be hard to know what love looks like, especially if we've been in an abusive relationship or have past trauma. But remember, loving relationships allow us to be ourselves, have our own life, and enjoy the addition of another person in it. It is supportive, respectful, and encourages us to do more of what we love. Healthy relationships have clear boundaries, open communication, and trust. If we only get affection and kind words after we've been hurt, you may want to rethink your relationship because it could be trauma bonding, not love. If any of this sounds like your relationship, please find a trauma therapist in your area or online. The sooner we start talking to someone about this, the sooner we will feel able to leave and heal from the abuse. Know that you are all deserving of real love and support, and don't settle for less.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the information for the video definitely will be in the notes, in the show notes. It's just a lot of good videos on this stuff, man. So if you're dealing with it, this is a serious topic, man. Reason I'm taking time to do this because it's serious. You know, it's a serious thing, and I think it's like not talked about. And I think my approach to the situation may be wrong, because I was saying, like, why would we have her around or that person around us all the time? You know what I mean? Like, why wasn't, you know? And I asked, you know, somebody on the Mikey show about what she knew about the situation, and she told me she talked to both of them about it. But you know, when you in the situation and then they had another little attachment that's here still now, that's part of the family now too, who's now her life has changed forever. That's it's gonna affect you. You have to deal with it. And I was saying, like, freeze your, like, I don't know, man. I'm like, me myself, I'm like, let's tackle it. You know what I mean? Like, let's tackle the situation. But that's not really the style of my family. We just don't really tackle it. I don't know. We just, I guess, pray about it most of the time. But we don't tackle it. So that's why most of the time I'm saying I'm just gonna go downstairs and be quiet. That's what I do. But I have to talk about it, so now I got a podcast. So maybe that's how I'm talking. But yeah, I didn't even know that. Like that should have been front and center. Now we gotta deal with it. Now we, you know what I'm saying? If you don't deal with something, you're gonna have to deal with it sooner or later, right? Like I already know I got shit that I ain't dealt with. Even though I'm trying to rebuild my life at this point, I still got shit I gotta deal with. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have a plan, I still have shit to deal with. And so that's why I'm working on this foundation, you know, the spiritual foundation, in order to be able to tackle those things when those things come up. You know, spiritual, financial, all the foundations as I go forward, and let it take the time that it's going to take, because basically I'm moving in the right direction, like definitely with people, like even if, like I told you, the whole situation with the current little situation with old buddy, the same thing, just like boundaries, right? When you have boundaries, when you say this is who I am, this is how I need to be treated, and this is what I have for you, right? And then that don't match. It just don't match. Don't worry about it. Like I don't ever have to block anyone again because of an argument. You know what I mean? Like that's done. That's what that last relationship or that last interaction taught me. It was actually just it wasn't the first time that I did that. It was like the second time, but it shows me exactly that needs to happen. Just don't be a coward. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't really help you grow, right? Relationships should help you grow. And that's the problem with these trauma bonds. You will not grow. To be your true self, you will never be your true self. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't even know dude, right? Because if dude was acting to the point where it got to this point, that now your whole life is going to be over. Like, the situation is to a point where you're going to an environment where you're going to have to change. You know what I'm saying? Like, one of the worst hells that we as black men could ever think about, not slavery, right? But back up in a slavery type situation, you know what I'm saying? And it ain't for no slick shit. You know what I mean? Like, wasn't for no get money thing. It was for a domestic thing, and it's just a bad situation where now people, your relationships are supposed to make you better, not worse. And if you think that you shouldn't have to argue. Like, I don't know what people think about when I talk about my relationship with the two, or Heidi. There was no arguments. There was never any arguments, even with this situation, right? This situation did cause problems, and Heidi did have a problem with Justin. Like, she would get mad. I disappeared and just tear the house up. And then she apologized, saying to them, do that again. I'm sorry I did that. And I would just clean it back up again. But I guess she just, she had that energy up in her, right? And she shouldn't be going through that, right? So that's what came out. But it was never anything, like, it was some bad shit. Like the food, like, finally get there, slept all the food out of the refrigerator, all the food out of the freezer. You know what I'm saying? We had to just put it back up again, though, right? Thank God we could. But it shouldn't have happened. That's what I'm saying. So eventually she did get to the point where she said, I'm sorry to not have it again. And I just... But the relationship still, even with that, it still remained supportive, I guess, what I'm trying to say. I don't know if I can only get to her when she decided that she had to leave. It wasn't even bad at that time. It was just a series of just like, some moves that she definitely wanted to make. And that's why that ended. But the relationship was still supportive when everything was good. And that's what I'm saying. Like, this was the first time that I actually got to be with someone, and this is after a lot. This is before ethical non-monogamy, so this is still after some significant relationships. After another thing about this relationship, it was probably one of my healthiest times, because I definitely did tell her everything in the very beginning, because I had just got out of rehab. And told everything. So if there was a time to get my shit together, that would have been the right time. If I had just been on the right shit, and I couldn't get on the right shit. I still had something to learn. I don't know what it is, but it was a painful ass lesson. I know that. So, but this is very, very, very important. I'm gonna play. It's not love. It's a bond. It's not love, right? It's an attachment. It's not feeding you. It's destroying you. You should not have to argue. I don't care what you say, but people say, like, oh no, you working things shit out. I ain't arguing with nobody about nothing. right? And I think I'm learning that more and more, even with friendships. Like, I don't have any reason to argue with you because I'm doing what I need to do for myself. You should be doing what you need to do for yourself. Now, if you think I need to be doing something for you, you can request it. I don't have to give it to you, right? That's it. And then we could part ways. There's nothing, anybody, you know what I'm saying? Except for my daughters. They could ask me for shit I can't give, and I got to figure that shit out. But that's about it, because I owe them a lot more. But that's it. Those are only two. Maybe my mother and father. Definitely my mother. That's it. Fuck all the rest of y'all. But trauma bonding is a serious situation. And I have one more video I want to play from one of my favorite podcasts. It's Horrible Decisions, but really it's Decisions. The reason I want to play it because it reminds me of what a good relationship feels like. You know what I mean? Like, I can feel it. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's the one thing that I in both those two relationships, I can remember the feeling of being safe, the feeling of being able to talk to someone, to be able to cry with someone and have them be there for you, to support you. And those are good relationships, man. I mean, like, if they're quiet times. Now I'm gonna talk about this, but I'm gonna tell you about one more thing about a good relationship. Is when I was with my second marriage, we used to drive up to New York. We used to spend a lot of time together, like quiet time, and we used to be able to just talk about anything. And that's what I'm saying. You have to be with somebody that you can enjoy the quiet times with, and just not argue. And there should be never no arguments. I don't care what you say. Like, if you arguing, what are you arguing about? If I don't like you, I ain't gonna be around you. That's one thing for sure. So a lot of times you just don't like these people and y'all forcing it, and I don't know why y'all do that. Can somebody tell me why would you be with somebody you don't like? Life is too short, man, and it definitely can get bad. But cause I'm gonna ask you why. Do you ever ask yourself why you would be with somebody you don't like? Like, why would you go through, like, a job? I understand, but a life, I don't understand. Not every single day I gotta talk to you because one thing about me, you see where I live, I have a podcast. I'm talking to a mic for some reason. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna do what I want to do, but if you're gonna try to stop me from doing what I want to do, that's gonna be a problem. And it's not gonna be. Before, I would probably say, okay, yeah, we go, okay, I love you, happy wife, happy life. You know, that type of bullshit. But we ain't on that anymore. That's not gonna happen. Because I don't want to die. First of all, what's the button? Let's press the button.
Change I must or die.
Right.
I
It's all
will.
about change today. And I know that certain behaviors, changing, friction, anxiety. Like, I don't have anxiety today because I'm doing what I need to do. I have anxiety about things not happening the way I think they should be happening, but I have peace because I trust the way things are happening. I don't know if you get that. All right, so we're good. So, no, I got to play one more video. All right, so I was telling you a story. So, yeah, we used to drive up. So, I used to be with somebody that I really cared about a lot. So, we used to drive up to New York because she used to go to New York for her hair done. She was a diva. So, she had to go to New York, get her hair done, and she used to go up how she wanted to go up. I didn't go up all the time. Hourly, because I would have to work sometimes. I would have to work a lot on the weekends. And that just give me time to be alone. You know what I'm saying? I call them man's weekends. Now cook meat. I get drunk and look at YouTube. Those were great weekends. But I digress. What was I saying? Oh yes, so then when her father, to get older, he had dementia, and so I would say I would drive you. You don't have to worry about going to New York anymore. I just drive you. We just go up together. Because I wanted to be in New York too, right? Because we have friends up in New York now. Elise was in New York. And plus, the favorite restaurants, this is like a swinger days. It's El Monogamy days. So we had people that we knew and would hook up with. And then, so we used to go to our favorite little spot in the Real Village. We used to go with different people, have a good time. The food is always good in New York. Their family is great. But we used to drive up there and just talk and listen to podcasts and talk. And that was like the greatest times of my life. Just that drive. And then sometimes I would look over and she'd be asleep. And she'd wake up And then she would do like one thing. She just look up and then grab me and then rub me on the back of my head. Right? That's when I knew things were good. Things were good every time. Right? Just that little simple thing. And like, if you aren't getting that in your relationship, I don't even know what you're in a relationship for. All right, someone plays one video.
So
Here we go.
we have a bunch of questions from fans for you, but my boyfriend has one for you.
Oh.
He says, what is the key to a 30-plus year marriage? Or since this is a sex podcast, should you tell the girls a sex tip for an everlasting marriage?
Always treat your man well. Always stroke him.
Ew, Mom.
No, what do you mean? I mean, you know I have this thing about the back of the head. Always touch touch a man in the softest, in the back of the neck, on his baby hairs. That's the most sensitive part of a man. When you can stroke a man and he doesn't know it's coming, and it don't mean hard. You just let your fingers, it just brings him back to, I know I love her. I know I love her. You always have to have that touch, unexpected. And they just, you look good in their eyes again.
That's your sex tip?
Well, you want me to talk about getting down, bending over?
Right, that's intimacy. I like that.
I like that was a good tip.
Because anybody can give a blowjob. Not like she and I, but anybody can give a blowjob. Everybody can be a great lay. But the sensitive, those little moments like that, just, or bring your man if he's watching a game or doing something by himself, bring him something as a surprise. Don't let him have to ask you. Can you when you bring it to them and you didn't have to ask, they just like, oh, I know why I love her. It's that connection of you're not always on him. Go do your thing. Well, he was a workaholic. So
that's actually really cute.
Never around. But there's not really a sex. I think everybody and everybody's man. That's your. But those little subtle moments that you touch your man is just like. It's almost like they're thinking, what happened? What did I do?
Yeah.
So that's.
I like that.
I think also physical touch, even if it's not someone's love language, it's one of those things that you immediately know someone really cares about you.
Yes, it's that intimacy, but it's unexpected all of a sudden.
Yeah.
We can all be intimate because you're going to get down and busy, but it just comes from nowhere. If you're in the store and you just touch the back of his hand, he's like, oh.
Yeah, see? That's all you gotta do. So I say that to say, I told you what the story, but I still remember that time. Like, it's like if you don't get that feeling about your relationship, why are you there? You know what I'm saying? Like, my first marriage was not it. And it's no problem. I probably did love her to the point where she's my children, but we weren't friends. That's what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that thing never was there. It was just like it turned into a grind, an unhealthy grind. And it's like, and it ended crazy too, right? It ended crazy too. Because of me, and then because of her. Just the both of us together was not good. It wasn't good for the kids. Because I didn't want to be there. It was my fault. I shouldn't have never married her. It was my fault. And that's what she told me at the end. That's what she told me. That's what she told me. She said, you gonna leave me? I always knew you would leave me. I was like, damn, why would you just tell me that? Then why you didn't leave me? Made this shit easy. Why had to be hard? Well, oh my God. See, that's what trauma bonds do. They make you crazy. So the first thing you do is to separate yourself. There should be no violence in your relationship. I don't feel like I should be arguing in your relationship. If you argue, that's on you. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. I'm not arguing with you about nothing. I'm going to leave. Because I enjoy my own company, right? I'm finding peace. That's what's important. It's more important. The relationship with yourself is the most important relationship. And basically, if you're not in a trauma bond with yourself, you're not going to be in a trauma bond with nobody else. Because you're not going to let yourself be mistreated, right? You have healthy boundaries. All right, I'm going to leave it right there. That last clip was from Decisions or Horrible Decisions, Mandy and Weezy. The big podcasters out in New York on the iHeart Network. They were on the Black Effect Network. Charmaine the God. So that's one of the big podcasts. That was very, very important, right? Your relationship should be feeding you, and they should be feeding you. You should be growing. Y'all should be growing together. If y'all fighting, y'all not growing. Y'all shrinking, and then y'all gonna kill each other spiritually first, and then probably physically. So avoid all that. And just go be happy, man. You don't have to be in a relationship. You don't. I don't care. I know y'all say the kids are more important. No, the kids are important, But if you're arguing in front of the kids, endangering the kids, that's what I'm saying. You aren't helping them. You're showing them how to have a bad life. We want to have more examples of people being happy. That's what's important, right? We don't have those. All right, that's it. I'm gonna leave it right there. You know what? I said, I pressed the wrong button, right? This is the Wednesday recap. On the conversation on Friday is gonna be on I don't know yet. If anything, we're gonna go back to ethical non-monogamy and finish up on polyamory. That's my thing. So I don't know yet. We'll see. Too much is going on in the family and life, and but I'm gonna get back to the main conversation: ethical non-monogamy and addiction and recovery. All right, I'm out. I pressed the wrong button. I'm gonna see if I can press the right button this time. Hold up.
All right, people, we out. Choose love, every time.
Every time.
And things will work out.
Every
All right,
time.
peace. See you next week.
Love you.